I'll start by adding 150 grams of red beans to this pot. Then, I add water and 2 bay leaves. I close the pressure cooker and let the beans cook until they become very soft. After some time cooking, look how they turned out. They are perfect. I had to add more water because they dried out a bit. After that, they reached this perfect texture. Red beans are great for helping to eliminate sugar from the blood since their soluble fiber works by blocking alpha-glucosidases, slowing down the absorption of carbohydrates from a meal. This prevents a rapid spike in blood sugar levels after eating. Additionally, their high fiber content helps lower bad cholesterol and reduces oxidative stress on the cardiovascular system as a whole. The folate present in red beans also helps lower homocysteine levels, a substance linked to an increased risk of stroke, heart attack, and vascular diseases. After discussing the benefits of red beans, let's set them aside and move on to the next step. On the stove, I add a little extra virgin olive oil to a pan. Then I add the equivalent of 4 cloves of garlic and let them brown. Next, I add about 250 grams of lean ground beef cut into cubes. Here I'm using sirloin. I let the meat sear lightly with the garlic. I removed all the fat from the sirloin, leaving only the lean meat. Look at this. It's perfectly browned and seared just right. Now I season it with a mixed spice blend to taste and add a chopped onion. I stir well, add 2 teaspoons of pink salt, and let the meat sauté a bit more. Next I add 4 to 5 peppers, which have more aroma than heat. Then I add 1.5 cups of Japanese pumpkin, kabocha, cut into large pieces, half a zucchini cut into half moons, and 2 jilós, a small green fruit sliced into rounds. For those who don't know, jilós is an excellent natural anti-inflammatory due to its high concentration of flavonoids. It also protects the arteries by preventing the buildup of bad cholesterol. Including jilós in your diet, as I'm doing in this recipe, offers great health benefits. Now I stir everything and close the pot. I begin adding the beans that I cooked earlier. While I continue with the recipe, I want to introduce you to a product that I've linked in the description. It contains all the ingredients in one place, much more practical and convenient. Just click the link to check it out. Back to the recipe. I've already added half of the cooked beans. If you prefer, you can use less. It's up to you. I let it come to a boil, then turn off the heat. In a larger pot, I transfer the beans and vegetables and add 2 to 3 collard green leaves, sliced into strips. Finally, I adjust the seasoning by adding a bit more pink salt. I stir well. I cover the pot and let the vegetables cook until they are tender. This step is quick and doesn't take long. If you prefer a thinner broth, just add a bit more water. Once the vegetables are cooked, look how amazing this looks. I finish by adding chopped parsley or cilantro depending on your preference. In a bowl, I add 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 4 tablespoons of plain low-fat yogurt, and pink salt to taste. I whisk everything together until smooth. Then I add 4 tablespoons of hot water. I combine everything with a spatula until I get a beautiful dough. Lastly, I add 1 tablespoon of baking powder and stir. The dough immediately starts to rise. Look at that, what a beauty. Before pouring the dough into the molds, I prepare the filling. In a bowl, I add 50 grams of buffalo mozzarella or light mozzarella with less fat and a little oregano. You can use other seasonings of your choice if you prefer. I mix the oregano with the cheese and set it aside. Now I distribute the dough into silicone molds, filling each one partially. Another great filling option is ricotta or white cheese. It's entirely up to your taste. With a spoon, I smooth out the dough in the molds to ensure they're even. Now I add the filling, placing a small amount of cheese with oregano into each mold. No need to overfill. With everything ready, I bake the mini breads in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius, 390, for about 30 minutes. And after that time, look how they turned out. They're perfectly baked. To finish, I'll cut one of the breads so you can see the inside. Look at the melted cheese. Let me bring it closer so you can see all the delicious details.